Good day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jeremy. This is the Financial Education Channel, and today we're talking about 10 business ideas for 2017 that you can start with little money. Every single one of these business ideas I'm going to give you all cost less than $1,000 to start. Most of them actually cost less than $500 to start, guys. And some of them even cost less than $100 to start. So that's the goal of this video today. And if you're not inspired to start at least one of these businesses, then you're probably not meant to be an entrepreneur or something like that, guys. Because, I mean, there's literally almost every one of these on this list, like, I'm like, I should probably do that. Oh, I should probably do that. Like, all these I've either done in the past or I have thought about doing or something like that, guys. Seriously. So, and the first thing I want to mention before we get into those 10 business ideas is these can be meant for teenagers. Many of these, almost every single one of these you can do as a teenager. Almost all of these you can do as like a side business, like a side hustle business, a way to make money on the side. And if you really focus on these, you can make this a full-time income with pretty much almost every single one of these business ideas, guys. And you'll just want to make sure you get some business cards and maybe like a couple business shirts made for any of the businesses that you're going to interact with customers. I know for my business, I use a site called Vistaprint, and it's like super cheap to do business cards and shirts and things like that. So I have like collar shirts I actually use for my real business and whatnot. And I have business cards, which I don't use as much now because I mostly contact people through email and whatnot. But at the same time, a lot of these you'll be going door to door for some of them. So you might want to have a business card. So let's go ahead and get into this, guys. Number one, landscaping. Landscaping is such a business you can start for so freaking cheap, guys. I mean, if you're a teenager and you live with your parents, right? There's a good chance your parents have a lot of like landscaping equipment that you could start a landscaping business with. If you live on your own, you could start that as a side hustle type business. It takes very little capital to start a landscaping business and just kind of do whatever it is you can afford. So if maybe there's something that maybe you're not ready to chop down trees and you don't have the money for a chainsaw or something, don't do that side of the landscaping. Maybe there's just, in your area, everybody's got a lawn, right? Everybody's got grass in your area. Maybe you live in the South. You could buy a lawnmower, or if you already have a lawnmower, just use a lawnmower you have and be just strictly kind of toward cutting grass. Out here in Nevada, we don't have a lot of grass, right? But everybody's got rocks in their yard. Everybody's got little rocks and they go all over the place and they start looking all messy and whatnot. And a lot of people have little palm trees and things like that that need to be trimmed up because the branches slowly die off. Like you could start a business just like raking rocks. You know, hey, I'll come by every 2 weeks. I'll rake your rocks, make them look all nice in your front yard, backyard, and I'll trim your little palm trees here. You know, 20 bucks a time I'm coming by. So you make 40 bucks a month or whatever, and it takes you a half hour to do it or 45 minutes to do it or whatever. So, and you make $20, $25 in the course of that hour, guys. So landscaping, you just got to kind of tailor it around what you want to do. I mean, if you don't want to climb big, huge palm trees, if you live out here in the West Coast and you don't want to climb big palm trees and cut those, you don't have to do that. Just focus the landscaping business around what you know and what you can do and those kinds of things, guys. So that's number one. Number two, car detailing. Car detailing, where you go to other people's houses, is just becoming a bigger and bigger industry. I see it more and more times. You could just basically go door to door, pass out business cards, knock on people's doors if you think they're in an area that they might want their car detailed, which actually, believe it or not, sometimes there's actually not a specific area. Sometimes people think only like rich people want their car detailed. It's not true. Like middle class people, even a lot of like people that aren't in the middle class like their car detailed. Like car detailing, it's just dependent upon does the person that owned that car really care about that car a lot? And it doesn't have to be in a certain area. So you don't have to live in a certain area to start a car detailing business. You just have to find people that have cars that they really care about. And if they really care about that car, then they always want it looking fresh. They always want it looking nice in the exterior, interior, and everything. They always want it looking perfect, guys. So a car detailing business, so cheap to start. You buy the soap, the bucket. It's like literally a car detailing business you could probably start for less than $100, guys. Maybe even less than $50. Some of you guys probably have the stuff laying around your house to actually detail a car. So it's not like you would have to spend any money at all. So that's another big one that's very, very profitable, just going to people's houses and doing that. Number three, house cleaning, but specifically house cleaning in retirement communities or wealthier areas. Now, this is one where you kind of want to tailor where you're house cleaning at, because the problem is a lot of middle class people, or especially below the middle class, they just don't have the money or the need to want a house cleaner, right? But when you're dealing with retirement communities, those people generally have the money to pay for it, and generally speaking, they don't want to have to clean their own house because either they're physically incapable of doing it or they just don't want to damn do it. Same thing with wealthier areas. They just don't have the time. There's more vital things they could do than cleaning a house, guys. So house cleaning, once again, another business that's super cheap. I mean, you can go to your local Sam's Club or Costco or Walmart or whatever, buy all the chemicals you need for it under $100, guys. It's not a capital intensive business at all. Number 4, exterior home painting. Exterior home painting company. So, you know, you could drive around most neighborhoods and the exterior paint on some of these houses is absolutely horrible, right? You know, they get all dirty, they get all nasty. You could start a business where that's all you focus on is exterior painting of walls, fences, the outsides of houses, things like that. And you don't have to buy a sprayer right off the bat. You know, one of those industrial sprayers, it's like $500, $600. You can just start with a paintbrush and a roller, right? You can start with that. And that stuff, you can go down to Home Depot and get it for like $20, $30. It's not like so capital intensive. The only thing you would spend money on is when you actually are buying the paint. So that's the only thing you need money for. But once you get up and rolling, the profits will start rolling in where, you know, to go buy that new bucket of paint, it won't be much for you at all, guys. So exterior home painting company. Number 5, a photography for local businesses. The amount of local businesses, I'm talking restaurants, local retailers, so many places, they have pictures online that were done like back when cell phone cameras were potatoes, you know, are just horrible pictures. You could go around, you know, business to business, these restaurants, bars, wherever, retail stores, you know, gyms, all these things, and tell them, hey, you know, I'll take if you're good at photography, I'll take all your photos, I'll make them look super nice. You know, right, currently you're using this picture and this picture. It doesn't show you in the most positive light. And then you can go ahead and become like that business's photographer, do a whole business package for them, you know, for $199 or $299 or whatever you think is the right price to do that for, and get them all new pictures for their websites, for Yelp, or if they're on Yelp, things like that, guys. All those types of things you could, I mean, oh gosh, look at many of your local businesses, type in their names and you'll see their pictures. Some of them look like they were done back in the 90s or early 2000s. They're absolutely horrible, guys. So it's definitely a good business you can get into if you have a great, just a good DSLR camera, you know, maybe one that's $400 or $500 or something like that you can get by with. That's a really good business to start there. Number 6, social media managing for local businesses. I mean, look around at your local businesses in your community. I can guarantee you pretty much all of them either have no social media presence or a pretty pathetic social media presence, like they have no clue what they're doing. If you really know what you're doing and you're doing something on your own social media wise, I mean, that doesn't mean you have a Facebook account and you have 20 friends. You got to actually know what you're doing social media wise. But if you've built a base on Instagram, on a YouTube, on a Snapchat, on Facebook, something like that, you built a big base and you're successful on social media doing something, it's going to be very easy for you to sell the idea of, hey, local Mexican restaurant, I will manage your social media. I will, you know, post pictures every single, you know, twice a week or something like that. I'll come in, I'll take pictures of food, I'll take pictures of the restaurant, I'll do posts for you, I'll do, you know, deals and specials you guys have going on, you know, things like that. And you just become the one that totally manages their social media, takes that off their plate. Maybe they pay you $100 a week or something like that to do it. You only might spend 2 or 3 hours actually doing it. So you're making maybe $50 an hour, maybe $30 an hour, maybe $40 an hour, something like that. So if you know a lot about social media, go to your local businesses, reach out to them and manage their social media for them. And I guarantee you will end up bringing business to them, especially if you know what you're doing, which will make them happy. And maybe even they'll start spending more money with you and you become more valuable to them. So it's a win-win for you and them. Number 7, dog sitting. This is a business you can start virtually no money. Dog sitting business. There's a lot of people that go away for trips and want their pets looked after and things like that. If you can kind of build a name and get in with some people, they spread your name around to another person and another person. And that's how you can really build a dog sitting business. You know, it's a lot easier than babysitting, where you have such a huge responsibility. Dog sitting, so much easier. You know, a lot of people, let's say, a lot of people have both spouses working. You know, the husband's working, the wife's working, and then maybe they don't even have any kids, and they're just too busy to go out and walk the dog. So a lot of people would pay someone $20, $30 a day to come over and just walk their dog for 10, 15 minutes, guys. So that's a good business you can get into, especially if you're a teenager. I would highly recommend teenagers, you guys kind of look into that, especially if you're good with dogs. Number 8. YouTube. This is definitely a platform. If you have some sort of talent, if you have something you can share with the world, this is certainly a way you can make money. It's not easy, but there's certainly a way you can make money on YouTube once you get a base built up. So if you feel like, man, you know what, I make people laugh, I'm really good on camera, things like that, you should absolutely start a YouTube channel, and you can absolutely make money on here, guys. I mean, you know, even if, say, you're not that popular, but you're making $200 a month on YouTube. Is that such a bad thing? Especially if you're a teenager, especially if it's just your side business or something like that. $200 extra a month is $200 extra, or $500 extra a month is $500 extra, guys, that you didn't have in your pocket before, that you can pay a car bill or something like that. I remember it took me, I think it was 9 months in, and I was making enough to pay my car bill. And I was like, this is so freaking cool. I can make enough money from doing something I love doing, and I could pay my car bill with that? Are you kidding me? That's like so cool. So YouTube, absolutely you can make money, but you just got to be good on camera. You got to be, you got to have something, a value that you're basically, that's a big thing I got to like preach out there. You got to give a value to whoever's out there. For me personally, it's education, and it's mainly like sharing my story, and that's like the value I give back, and it's like 1% entertainment. But maybe you're just like the most entertaining person in the world. Like you could just, you're the Casey Neistat, you know, you can just entertain people, and they're just amazed by your videography and the things you do and whatnot. Maybe you can do that. Maybe you're like so good at making people laugh. You're like a hilarious person on camera. You can make people laugh and those kinds of things. That's a value you're bringing to somebody. But you got to ask yourself before going in, is there some type of value I can give the consumer? Is there some type of value I can give to a viewer? If there's not a true value there, it's going to be very hard for you to succeed and make any money off it, guys. Number 9, be an eBay or Etsy reseller. So eBay, you know, I know there's a lot of people doing this, and they're making pretty good sums of money. They'll go to their local dollar store, thrift store, some of these kinds of places, and they'll find some stuff for super cheap. They'll go out and sell it on eBay for a 300% markup, a 400% markup, maybe something they bought at a dollar store for $1, and then they go on eBay and sell it for $4. And then the other person pays the shipping, and then eBay takes this little fee, but you still end up making a $2 or $3 profit. Times that by, say you sell 10 units a day, maybe you sell 20 units a day. Then we're talking about some real money here, guys, that you know, you can start making $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month doing it very successfully. You just kind of got to have a plan going in. Etsy is another big one that you can either resell things on, or if you're a creative and you create some pretty cool stuff, you can sell stuff on there, or find stuff at thrift stores or some of these other weird stores that, you know, sell antique stores and things like that. Antique stores, people are into finding some great things. They're just looking for stuff on Etsy, you know, interesting things that they don't see anywhere else. So eBay reseller, Etsy reseller, or just be a creative on Etsy. Either way, those are definitely some ways you can make money as a side hustle or a main business if you focus on it like that. Last but not least here, guys, number 10, selling. If you're really good at photography and videography, right? You should start a business, basically a side business or a main business, where you focus around reaching out to influencers who live in your city, right? No matter what city you live in, pretty much, there's going to be influencers who live in that city. And I'm talking about people that have big bases built up on, or even mid-size bases built up on Instagram, on YouTube, on Snapchat, on Twitter, on Facebook, some of these platforms. If you're really good and you have really good videography clips, photography clips, things like that, you should reach out to some of these people and see if they're interested in using some of your clips you've done in the past. Like, for instance, if there was, let's say, there was a successful vlogger here, like you know, somebody's got like 150,000 subscribers here in Vegas, right? You know, and I wouldn't do this because I'm too busy doing other stuff. But let's say I wasn't, you know, doing YouTube myself and things like that. I could contact them, right? And say, hey, you know what? I noticed you never use any drone shots in your vlogs. You know, I think some epic drone shots in your vlogs would be really cool. You know, I got all these drone shots of this area or that area or the strip or this or that. How about, you pay me $100 a month and I'll do you great clips every single month. And they might be down for that because it will make their content better, right? And they don't have to go out and purchase that drone or fly it or do those kinds of things. It would be a smart idea, and I could reach out to the next person and the next person and the next person. So reaching out to those people, and then you can eventually even go outside of your city if you do clips outside of your city. So say maybe you went on vacation to Los Angeles or something, right? You got tons of great photos out there. You got tons of great videos, drone videos. You could start reaching out to influencers who live in Los Angeles, which there's like 1 million of them, right? You can start reaching out to them and saying, hey, I got some great clips, you want to be interested in using those kinds of things. You can start building the business that way. Start with your own city. Then when you go on vacation to some of these other cities, you could do the same thing, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this today. 10 business ideas for starting a business 2017 with little or no money. And which one of these guys would you start? I mean, there might be like 5 or 6 of them that you guys want to start. So they could all be side hustle business. Most of these you could start as a teenager, start with no money. You could even you could even focus on these very seriously, and this could be your full-time income, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this today. Thank you for watching. If you just came across the channel and have not subscribed yet, you may want to. We talk personal finance. We talk entrepreneurship, just like we did today. I'm an actual business owner. I give away so many business tips. We talk the stock market, the most of everything. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day.